Gladius. One word, and before your eyes, a picture, a Roman legion in formation, shields, armor, and in their hands a short sword, the gladius, symbol of Rome, the weapon that conquered the world. Nations feared it. Poets sang of it. Heroes held it in their hands. But what if I told you the legionaries actually hated it? Yes, not just disliked, hated. Imagine, you're a soldier. You fight for the empire, and your weapon betrays you in battle. It breaks, it gets stuck, it kills you, just as much as it kills your enemy and your soul. Today, the truth about the most mythical weapon of ancient Rome. Why the gladius, despite its legendary fame, was a curse for those who fought with it. Ready for the truth? Then, let's go. Let's start with the main thing. The gladius wasn't a Roman invention. It wasn't born in Rome, not in Capua, not in Carthage. It was born here, in Iberia. Among the tribes the Romans called wild, the Iberians, their sword, the gladius pugnae, was short, narrow, with a double-edged blade. It didn't slash, it pierced. The Romans first encountered it during the Second Punic War against their greatest enemy, Hannibal. But Hannibal didn't invent it. It was used by Carthage's allies, Iberian mercenaries. And here's what's interesting. The Romans lost the early battles because their long swords, ensis, were useless in close combat. But the Iberians, they would charge into formation and kill at point-blank range. In 206 BC, everything changed. Scipio Africanus, the future hero, the conqueror of Hannibal, he saw how Iberian swords shattered Roman lines. And he did what true strategists do. He copied his enemy. After his victory at Ilipa, he ordered, collect all the gladi, study them, begin production. And so the Roman legionary received his main weapon, not from his own culture, but from the enemy's. Rome didn't invent the gladius, it stole it. And from that moment, the legend began. After defeating Carthage, Rome became an empire, and its army, a war machine. Now it needed a standardized weapon. The gladius was perfect for mass production. Simple, cheap, effective. Generals like Marcus Fulvius Nobilior officially introduced it into service. Now every legionary was required to carry a gladius. Over time, three main types emerged. One, gladius hispaniensis, the original, up to 70 cm long, sharp as a dagger, great for piercing but easily broken. Two, mites, an improved version, shorter, 50-55 cm, better balanced, developed after campaigns in Germany. 3. Pompey, the most common, 45 cm long, straight blade, perfect for standard combat. This is the one we most often see in movies. The gladius became part of the uniform, alongside the scutum shield and palum spear. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol of belonging to the army. But what if a symbol of strength was actually a symbol of suffering? Yes, the gladius was deadly, but not because it was beautiful, not because it was long. It was effective because of tactics. Imagine, you're a legionary. The enemy is in front of you. You close in. First, the pilum. You throw the spear. It pierces the shield, throws the enemy off balance. Then, the scutum. You shove the enemy with your shield, breaking their formation. And only then, the gladius. The strike, downward and forward, into the abdomen. Why there? Because it's the most vulnerable spot. No armor, lots of organs. Death is agonizing, within hours. 90 of gladius wounds were penetrating abdominal injuries. The gladius didn't slash, it killed. It was perfect for tight combat formations where there was no room for a swing. Its blade, double-edged, like a dagger, pierced easily but withdrew poorly. Here lies the paradox. The more effectively it killed, the more often it got stuck. And this is the first reason for the hatred. Now let's see what the soldier felt. Imagine, you're in the thick of battle, screams, blood, dust. You drive your sword into the enemy, and it gets stuck. You pull, it won't come out. The next enemy is already upon you, and you are weaponless. This isn't a movie. This was the reality for thousands of legionaries, and here are 4 reasons why they hated the gladius. Reason 1, it was dangerous for the user. The gladius often broke or got stuck in bones. Archaeologists find swords with signs of repairs, chipped edges, and deformed blades. In the heat of battle, pulling a sword from a corpse meant distraction, and distraction meant death. Many legionaries lost their weapon after the first strike, then they fought with their bare hands or died. Reason 2, useless for slashing in self-defense against Germanic warriors with axes, useless. Against cavalry, too short. In pursuit or ambush, impractical. Legionaries dreamed of the falx, a curved, sickle-like sword that could chop off an arm in one blow, or the spatha, a longer sword that offered reach advantage. But Rome gave no choice. The gladius, the only one allowed. Reason 3, the psychological toll. To kill you had to get up close, feel the enemy's breath, see the fear in their eyes. This wasn't heroism, it was cruelty, especially for new recruits. Killing at such close range was traumatic. Rome didn't care about psychology, it cared about discipline. Reason 4, symbol of coercion and slavery. The gladius wasn't a hero's weapon, it was the weapon of a cog in the machine. You didn't choose who to kill, you just plunged the sword on command, like a slave, like a machine. I am not a hero. I just pushed the shield and plunged the iron into the belly. And such memories were recorded by Julian the Roman legionary, whose writings were found in Sicily. I am not a hero, I just pushed the shield and plunged the iron into the belly. Every time I feel it getting stuck, and every time I lose a piece of myself. The gladius wasn't just a sword, it was an instrument of lost humanity. When did the gladius disappear? By the 1st century AD, the world had changed. Rome no longer fought Carthaginians, it fought Germans, Sarmatians, Parthians, cavalry, warriors of open terrain. And here's the problem. The gladius was perfect for tight formations, but useless against cavalry. Imagine a horseman above you slashing down, you with a short sword. You can't reach, and so the spatha appeared, a longer sword borrowed from the Germans. It didn't pierce, it slashed, it gave reach, it was effective against cavalry. The army began to adopt it. First, the cavalry, then the infantry. By the 3rd century AD, the gladius had almost vanished from the army. It was replaced. The gladius served for 400 years and left quietly. But why? Not just because it became outdated, but because soldiers no longer wanted to fight the way the formation demanded. They wanted to survive. They wanted a choice. They didn't want to lose their sword in an enemy's body. The gladius didn't disappear because of tactics. It disappeared because they hated it. Why did the gladius become a symbol of Rome? Because it was with them in the age of greatness. It defeated Carthage. It conquered Gaul. It stood at the foundation of the empire. But cinema and literature romanticized it. It's shown as a hero's weapon, a symbol of honor, a blade of justice. But in reality, it was a weapon of mass killing, a weapon that forced you to feel a man dying. Archaeologists find hundreds of gladi with repair marks, proof they broke. Many show signs of getting stuck in bones. Legionaries didn't dream of it. They dreamed of axes, swords, something that wouldn't get stuck. The gladius wasn't a hero, it was a tool of the machine. And when the machine began to rust, it vanished with it. Conclusion: the gladius, great but cursed. The gladius made Rome the greatest army of antiquity. It helped build an empire that ruled the world, but the price was high. Not just in gold, not just in enemy blood, but in the soldier's soul. Every strike wasn't just an enemy's death, it was the loss of oneself. The legionaries didn't hate the metal, they hated what it symbolized. Inhumanity, obedience, coercion. The gladius was the perfect weapon for a perfect machine. But a machine can't feel. A human can. And when the soldiers began to feel, the gladius left. Perhaps that's exactly why it disappeared. Not because of tactics, but because of the soul. Final question to you. Would you want to fight with such a sword? To kill, you must press close to your enemy. Feel their breath. See the fear in their eyes. Feel the blade get stuck in bone. Or would you choose something else? What would you pick? Falx, spatha, pilum, or axe? Write in the comments. Gladius or not my sword? If you like this, hit like. It helps others see the truth. Subscribe. There will be more stories about the dark side of ancient weapons, about what textbooks hide. Until the next battle, I'm with you.